Del Palliative Care Residence held its 5th annual Butterfly Release Benefit event at Centennial Park in Dollard today. Now, the event allows people to honor their loved ones while giving to the residents so it can provide top quality care to people who need it. Now, joining us now to talk more about it is the Executive Director of the Care Residence, Dale Weil. Dale, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me, how did the event go today?
Well, it was really a wonderful event, and I should say this is a third-party event, so it's actually organized by a volunteer for which the proceeds go to the residents, and it was the 5th year, but the last 2 years had been done remotely, where only a small number of us released butterflies on behalf of everybody. So I have to tell you, it was heartwarming. We released over 600 butterflies. There were about 200 people participating. They had a great time. Then we had wonderful music, face painting for the children. It's really a very inclusive event because people participate. They're there because they want to honor a loved one, and they're also there knowing that they're helping out the residents. So it's a very, very positive event. And of course, the weather couldn't have been better. So great fun was had by all. It was wonderful.
Why butterflies?
This is the brainchild of the volunteer who actually founded this event, Pat Emsall, and she chose butterflies because of the symbol that they bring. There's a legend about butterflies that because they're silent, they can take a wish, and in releasing a butterfly and making a wish on that butterfly, the thought would be that that wish is not shared with anyone, and the butterfly carries that wish as they are freed into nature.
Now, you mentioned there that this is the first time in a couple of years that you've been able to do this at the full scale. Can I ask you what it was like running the care center throughout the COVID pandemic and through all the lockdowns?
Yes, well, you can well imagine that when you're running a palliative care center, which is where people spend their final days, and it's so very, very important for them to be surrounded by loved ones and receive the kind of compassionate care that everyone so deserves at such a difficult time in their lives. During the pandemic, we of course had to put together some protocols, some safety measures that made it less easy for as many people to come and visit. So visitors were limited for periods of time. That was probably the biggest heartbreaker of all.
Well, you're back to full capacity now, as I understand, and you have some new facilities as well. Being back to full capacity and having those new facilities, what does that mean to the family members and the people that you take care of there?
Well, what it means is up until 2020, we had 2 sites that were the first 9-bedroom site that had begun in 2002, and then a number of years later, we added, at the request of the government, another 14 beds, but rented another site. So we were able, because of the generosity of many donors, to bring 2 sites together to construct an addition to the original site on Andre Brunet in Kirkland. And so now we have all 23 beds spread over 3 wings, but under one roof. What that means is, while the care was the same in the 2 sites that we originally had, the environment wasn't quite the same. So now we control 100% of our environment. Everybody has access. They're all on the first floor. They have walkout access to their own private patio. We have the same home cooking for everybody, whereas before we were renting a space in another facility, so we couldn't provide all of that. And we've created a number of lovely common spaces for families to gather so that they can feel like they're at home.
Well, we're really happy to hear that you're back to full capacity and providing those services, and also happy to hear that the event went very well today with the butterflies. Dale, thank you so much for joining us on CBC Montreal Weekend News.
Thank you so much for taking the time.